The headline, had a child at 19, 14 heartbreaks, 15 abortions. 15 abortions. It's the kind of thing you see on the covers of Nigerian newspapers, blogs, Insta blogs. There. But what is the thing that leads a person to make so many of those choices? What's the pain, the loneliness, the heartbreak? What is going through your mind, your heart, your spirit when you put your life and your being at so much risk? That's what I'm going to be talking to my friend, Lara Kudayisi, about. How she survived these experiences and where she is now. I've read her book. It will be a riveting conversation. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're my friend, obviously.
Yeah.
And we've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
And so when you asked me to talk about your book, to put your book on my social media, I'm like, oh, sure. I wasn't going to read the book to me, and there's so many books to read. But then you sent me a copy, and I didn't plan to read it this year because every year I decide what are the books I'm going to read.
Yes.
But as I was about to file it in the library, I stamped my books, about to file it in the library. So the image struck me.
Okay.
So I said, let me read it. And so let me read chapter 1. I read Femi's forward. Femi Jacobs, the actor, is my friend. I was like, let me read it. Well, I talk about vulnerability.
Yes.
But this one was a master class in honesty, in vulnerability. And I'd heard the highlights. And I'm going to talk about, the highlight thing that attracts people. But it was that you didn't just say the thing. You went deep into the story. So, people here say the highlights, first in a family of 4, you had a child at 19, 14 failed relationships, 15 abortions.
Yes.
So, Nigerians, that's it. It's like, okay, that's it.
Yes.
But, I hear a lot of stories, in the Joy Retreat. So that didn't really, but it's the fact, it didn't really hit me. I mean, it's big. It's a big story. And that's why you coach people.
Yes.
But just the way that you went into the pain and the shame and the insecurity. So let me start from the way that a typical Nigerian would ask the question. Before I go into the questions I want to ask.
Okay.
14 abortions.
It's 15.
15. How does that even happen?
Well, firstly, my mom called me when she heard about it for the first time, like some years ago, and
right.
It's a lie.
It's not possible.
It's not possible. You are just saying it so that so that people will come.
Yes.
I said, Mommy, it's true. She that's my own mom.
Yes.
Like how?
How?
So but if you read the book, you'd understand why, how it happened, it was just because I was naive, 1, 2, I had the goal to get married. So whilst getting married, every other thing, didn't matter.
Yes.
So even if I got pregnant 3 times for a guy, and he keeps saying, I don't want to use protection, I will still do it.
Because you want to get married to the guy.
Yes. If you remember, there's a chapter in that book that said, I married to prove daddy wrong.
That's just the chapter I opened, because I wanted to talk about it. Yes.
Yes. So that was it. So it was, I launched Operation Get Married. You get. So that was how the abortions happened. And I don't know, I always say that God is just graceful and merciful to me.
Yeah.
Because after 15 abortions, I still
conceived, had your
had my son and all of that, So, but the 15 at the time, it is now, when I realize it that I'm beginning like,
how did I? Yes.
But at the time,
but in the moment, you think you're doing it for love. You think this is the last one.
Yes.
I'm assuming.
Yes. I always thought this is going to be the last one. Yes. And then because I had a child before, so I didn't actually think of the consequences.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I'm not going to do this again. I'm not going to have any other child outside wedlock. Like, they would just kill me. So that actually necessitated, I don't think about it twice.
So there's the thing that led you to it, and there's the shame.
Yes.
So it's like, I don't want to have another child out of wedlock.
Yes.
Because wedlock is the goal.
Yes. That was the goal.
So I want to talk about the emotions, but I want to still come on this thing. Because, I mean, obviously I'm a man, so I don't know any of these things. Well, I don't, even if I knew, I should shut up and listen. What is the process? Like, what goes through a person's mind? Because when we see it in movies, it's a scary, lonely, depressing thing.
Yes.
And there was a time when you said you did this, and I think one of the men was supposed to follow you to the place.
Yes.
And the day before, he just doesn't turn up.
That was like. So, but this one, because the time lapse had happened, I had thought, I've, overcome this. It wouldn't happen again. I had rededicated my life to God. I wouldn't do all of that again, So when I wanted to do it at that time, because actually I was going to marry the guy. We met in church, we were together, we had fixed the wedding date. So I got pregnant and I thought, I'd done 14. Yes. So remorse started setting in. Right. So what if I don't have another child? Then besides, I have rededicated my life to God. I said I wouldn't do this thing again. But I was in the choir. He was preparing to be a pastor. So he said, never, that's not going to happen. Like people, this is somebody who prays for people, they get healed, he agrees with people. What will people say? He's never going to have a pregnant bride, never.
He's never going to have a pregnant bride.
He's going to have a bride, but not a pregnant one.
Even though he had already impregnated.
So that was it. And at first I was like, no, I'm never going to, we just went back and forth until one day he just came and said, you know what? Since you have decided not to abort this baby, I'm done with this relationship, so thankfully you already have one, so it's just going to be 2. So I think that was when it sank in, the cold water like poured on me. I'm like, slow down, okay, slow down. So all my own sense of reasoning just traveled. Yeah. So I was like, so what do you want? Yes. And it was like, just go ahead with the abortions and then we'll still proceed with the wedding plan and all of that. I'm like, what if I don't have another child? He said, I remember he said, he should be the one worried about that since I already have one, but that he doesn't worry. Like,
so anything just to get you to take that baby out. Just to
take that baby out. And so we were supposed to go together, he was going to support me, he was supporting me. And so at that time, where I went to, I don't even want to describe it, truly, because it was, I didn't know who to speak to anymore. I'd left school because all the things happened in school. Right. So there was nobody at that time. Right. So I had called, like, my friend will have to tell her husband, tell somebody before we could find somebody who knew where.
Because it's not, you don't walk into it like you have a normal operation.
Yes. So we just found a place, and I didn't know. The girl said it was a hospital. So by the time I got there and the site alone, or to be honest, I still say today that I should have just left because I was like, what's going on here? It was just a one room, one small space, and I'm like, please, where are the equipment? And the woman's like,
equipment, that
kind of thing. Like when you were
there's
doing
also the disrespect.
Do you understand? Yes. So, but the goal, because I knew if I didn't get this thing out, I don't know if I'm going to get another place. I was just like, God. So that one was filled with pain, and then the woman, who is unprofessional, by the way, brought it out and showed me. Yeah, that image is there forever.
Showed you the fetus?
Yes, and said, that means he was already growing. Yes, I'm sure she doesn't know what she did. I don't know why she did that, but that just killed me. At that point in time, right. You get, so there was pain. He didn't come. The father he was supposed to be there. I'm telling you, the person who was there, I didn't know her until that day. The person who took me there, so it was somebody who knew somebody. So it was like this person was supposed to be there holding my hand, but it was somebody that I didn't know.
No,
I was just like, it's going to be okay. I was screaming. You would think, so. That was it, and that just began a depressive slope.
So that's when you entered into depression.
Yes.
The first 14 times, you were not depressed about it. Why not?
Because.
And you were in school then?
Yes, I was in school.
And this wasn't strange, was it?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't strange.
It wasn't. Like, people just do it. We'll be in class, I'm going there, and the person is back for the second period.
Second one. So yes,
so it wasn't strange in school. Right. But now that I had even now come to my own,
and you were now fully in God.
In God. Because after all of that, I was just mad with God. Like I had a child, you didn't protect me, you didn't whatever. You should have warned me somehow, even though I was being stupid. So but that time I felt, it just started another, and I did not give up. I need you to. I want to talk about that because I went into denial. Because 1 week, exactly 7 days after the abortion, the guy came and said he was done with the relationship.
Yes.
You know, so, and...
You know, I'm sorry. I know you need to finish that point, but I need to say, I don't know who this person is. Like, no. But the wickedness of that. And I think that, you know, it's a time of global reckoning for men. You know, people are talking about rape, people are talking about abuse. And I think that I need to make that point. It was already offensive, all these things. But perhaps there's a place where you can understand that this person too was scared, maybe. Yes. But the wickedness of having made this woman go through this, and then 7 days after you say the relationship is off, I can't comprehend how anybody can do that. I just wanted to say that. When we come back,
all these things for this marriage. So, and then this marriage just, you know, disappeared in my presence. So I was like, I wasn't going to let that happen. But I just swung into denial. And, you know, because I was a Christian. Yes. So I'm like, the devil wants to rob me of my marital destiny.
So it's like... Yes. Okay, please continue.
You know, so, and of course I was devastated. Because all these things
were for this marriage.
For this marriage. So, and then this marriage just, you know, disappeared in my presence. So I was like, I wasn't going to let that happen. I begged him, I cried, I knelt down, I would call him, I would text him.
Yes, it was all in the,
yeah, you know, and instead of me, because that's what people do when something happened, when in emotional intelligence, we call it a trigger, that you have no control over. When it happens, you know, the way people respond is different. People's reactions are different. So when that happened for me, some people will go and cry and then start crying, but I just swung into denial. And, you know, because I was a Christian. Yes. So I'm like, the devil wants to rob me of my marital destiny.
So it's like you want to fight for the
I was going to fight for this thing.
That's very important. So your reaction was, because of the way we are in Nigeria, the devil wants to rob me.
Yes.
So using God became a form of denial.
Yes.
Using God and the devil.
I didn't think that was a terrible attitude from a man. Yes. How would he, what kind of husband would that make?
I love that. So you didn't even blame the man.
I didn't.
It's the devil.
The devil. And you know, that's what we do in Nigeria.
That's what we do.
Anything that happens is the devil.
Yes.
You know, but it's a nation of good or bad.
Yes.
So whatever good is from God, whatever bad is from the devil. We don't hold people accountable.
So you couldn't hold the man responsible for his actions because you're like, the devil is fighting us.
So I felt the devil was controlling him. You know, so, and I was, I went to his house every day for 3 months.
Oh, Jehovah Shammah.
You know, and I fasted for 40 days.
You fasted for 40 days to get that man back?
Yes. So because I just
the man who promised to marry you, made you have an abortion, said he was going to show up, didn't show up, and then broke up with you 7 days after. Yes. After saying that after the abortion we'll get married. Yes. You were fasting for 40 days to get him back.
Man. Yes. And I'll go to his house, he would be like, what do you want? Or, you know, behave, treat me. And I'll be telling myself, I'm fighting the good fight of faith. And I had scriptures to back it.
You had scripture to back it?
Yes, and I went to church, danced for miracle marriage, gave sacrificial offering. Oh. And I had people praying with me, telling me, that's your husband, he's not going anywhere. Yes. So it was a community.
It was a community.
Yeah, so somebody would call me and say, I had a dream, you know, I saw you in a wedding dress, he was here, he's not going anywhere, Lara. We have to conquer this together, marriage. Wow. Yes. Wow. Yes, you know, so, and the guy got tired, you know, because one day he had to ask me, like, what do you want from me? What does it take to stop you from, I'm done, like, what do you,
was it the story, I forget, because, you know, I read it. Yeah. And then you came and met another woman or something.
Yes. You know.
It's amazing.
So, and he was like, he asked me what I wanted. In my mind, I'm like, yes.
Yes, that the prayers are now working.
Prayers are working. You know, and I said, first of all, you know, we weren't dating, we were courting because we had a wedding date. You had met my parents, or you had met your parents.
This was not boyfriend, girlfriend.
So this wasn't boyfriend. I said, firstly, if you want to say you are not marrying me again, you have to take me, all those people you introduced to me to one after the other. Go and tell them you're no longer doing it. He's like, are you crazy? I say, yes.
Are you crazy? You say
yes, because I knew. Trudy, you had to be crazy to do all of those things.
You had to be
it's
crazy.
Not normal.
Oh my God.
So I knew I was. And then we had, you know, I had formed my company. I registered my company. I gave him shares.
Yes.
You know, so I'm like, how do we do? So I think the guy just got tired and then went to our pastor.
Yes, to report you.
To report that, Pastor, I know I was the one that brought her here. I said I wanted to marry her, but I'm still the same person. I said, I'm not doing it again. Please help me. And the pastor had to call both of us, fix the date, and said, I break this relationship in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So that was when
it dawned on you.
It dawned on me. So that was when my mourning, grieving process started. This was like 4 or 5 months after the relationship. So meanwhile, if I had, from when he had said it, started the grieving process, my healing would have been faster, you know. So, but that was when the grieving process started for me. And, you know, I just felt my life was finished. That was the end of me, nothing else, you know. I didn't have anything and, you know, so.
How could you write this book? 2 questions. Let me ask what are people who will say that you are just bitter? Which is an accusation that women are always vulnerable. Yes. Even I remember Taylor Swift says when a man sings about his heartbreaks, everybody's like, oh, he's brave.
Yes.
When a woman sings about her heartbreaks, they're like, oh, she's bitter.
Yes.
What are people who say that, look, you wrote all these things to shame this man, to disgrace this man?
Okay, well, firstly, he's not the only man I talked about in that book.
Yes, and this man actually, yeah.
This man. And remember, the title of the book is How the Matchmaker's Marriage
So it's about
Failed.
you.
So there was a divorce even after this man.
Right, yes, I want to talk about that. Yes.
You get, so it was the story. I had just gotten to a point where I was, the divorce had happened, or the crashed marriage had happened.
Yes.
And I just felt, again, it's finished because I had become a relationship expert.
Yes, that one, I still want to talk about that one.
I had all the certifications. I helped people
emotional
find
intelligence,
anger management, neuro-linguistic, cognitive behavioral therapy. I had all of those things.
Yes.
And so I felt, you know, what would people say? Yes. Nobody would listen to me.
Yes.
And then actually my mentors would call me and say, you can't leave this marriage. You are finished. You are done.
Because
your brand is
your
dead.
Career, your brand.
Yes, your brand. In fact, that word brand.
That brand. So your brand becomes a prison.
Yes. So he was like, your brand is dead. So for 2 years, even though I was out of the marriage, I couldn't express it. I couldn't tell people. So even if I held programs or talked to people, I felt I was living a lie. So because I would still be talking about I was bearing my husband's name, I was talking about marriage, and people came to me because I was married.
Yeah.
Do you get? So I was in that prison.
Yeah.
So I had reached that slope that I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. This is not living.
So this wasn't about the man.
No, it wasn't about the man. So I was like, I can't live this.
And you had to say the whole truth.
You know, I can't just leave this anymore. I can't begin to lie to people. I can't do this. I can't do that. So I had shared my story earlier by going on Facebook when I was still saying. So I was just like, I'll just do another Instagram. And then thankfully I met Femi Jacobs.
Yes.
And he was like, in this world, you want to go to Instagram? By the time Insta blog finishes you and stuff like that. So he was like, I think you should have it in a controlled environment. And that's very, very key. You know, have this conversation in a controlled environment. Own it so that people don't spin it out of control. And then, and we came up with the title. It was because I tried to change this title a zillion times because I'm like, it's too direct. Let's change it to this.
Let's make it more
Let's
deep.
make it more Daphne.
The road to recovery.
You know, thank you. You know, the mess to miracle.
The mess to miracle.
Something like that.
Redemption song.
This is the name.
Yes.
You know, and I just left it at that. So it was at that point, this book, somebody asked me, I met somebody earlier, how long did it take you to write this book? It was 2 weeks.
Right.
Because I just needed to.
The story was waiting to be written.
It was waiting. So I felt that for me to, you know, start my healing process, then even help people to heal, I needed to own my mess because I was a deep mess.
Yeah.
So I needed to own it that yes, my life was going to be, because I tried to kill myself.
Yes.
So I would have died. What would people have said? So I just felt, and of course God told me that you just need to, Lara Kudayisi that we know had to die. Another one has to rise up. And that scripture that came was that except a corn of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it abides alone. Lara, you have to die so that you can stand alone. And so the book was a death.
Yes, the book was a death.
Yes.
When we come back,
my mom said we bought a shrebi. Yeah. We told people, we rented hall. Yeah. What will we tell them again? I said that I told them I wanted to get married.
Yes.
And now say I'm not doing
it again.
That's what you say.
That's all you tell them. Like that is it. So how come all the things you had learned,
didn't come
all the things you knew, couldn't save the marriage?
Okay.
What do you why?
Yeah. Okay, that's the question I get asked a lot of times. And the reason was because I had not healed. Even though I knew everything, but I had not healed because there were aggression from home.
Yeah.
You know, there was aggression from all the relationships, broken relationships, you know, all the so, you know, even the married, I still talk to my ex-husband. We're very good friends. I still told him yesterday that, you shouldn't have gotten married. You know how much money we would have made by now, me and you, because marriage just weirded, you know, made everything weird. You know, so there was, I told him the marriage was dead on arrival. Because I was not healed, even though I knew these things. Isn't it? Can't I tell you what to do?
Yeah.
But inside of you, are you free from those patterns?
Yes.
Are you free from those things? So there was aggression when I got into my marriage. You know, I was already in pain because 14 heartbreaks, you know. So when my husband or ex-husband does something like this, it triggers
all of those things.
All of those things. I remember Jude. I remember this. I remember that. So I don't treat it because and that's because I wasn't healed. So I don't deal with that
issue there. Your issue with the baggage.
Yes.
I think when it comes to relationships, many people can identify with that.
Yes.
You're not dealing, somebody says something to you, you're not dealing with the today.
Yes.
You're dealing with, I'm not good enough, nobody stays with me, maybe there's something wrong with me.
Yes.
And you're looking for the next partner to make you feel complete. To make you feel, once this person can love me, then it proves to everybody that I'm lovable.
And that's the greatest mistake we can ever make. Because I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday and saying, we were you know, and women were saying, you know, it's too much responsibility to put on one person. To say, you have to make me happy, you have to be my this, you have to be my that. It's overwhelming because that person too is struggling. That person is living.
That's also human.
That person is human, trying to live. You know, so we should know which one to put on this person and which one to take out and find. Maybe your God should fill that vacuum. Maybe your work should fill that vacuum. Maybe your kids, maybe your siblings. So don't say, you know, I want to make my marriage work and then cut everything out and then put it on one person. You're going to kill that man, kill that woman, kill that marriage. So that was actually what happened because I was just, the pain, so there was just aggression from the beginning to the end.
Yeah. Let's talk about, the church was a very key part of this whole thing. Also because of that, all those promises, first and foremost, it seems like the church sends a lot of messages. One, a woman is not complete until she's married. Or marriage is an important aspiration for the woman.
And we must always maintain a front.
And we must always maintain a front.
Always.
And you know, like I know you now, that is when it comes to church, like, you know, like...
I was there.
We're churches.
Yes, churches. I was there doing everything in
What's your relationship with that, with church now? With not God?
Yes, but with
church.
Yes.
You know?
That's a very interesting question. Because at that time, I just lost it. You know, there was a time, actually, even in my marriage, that was actually one of the things that led to the crumble of my marriage. Because I realized that I really didn't know me. So all the decisions I made, including my marriage, was for other people.
Yes.
So it was on that journey that I found God in another light.
Not the God that you were taught, not the one you did altar call for.
Yes, not the God that I fast for. Not the God that I go to church for, that I sing in church for. But the God who created me, the God who is my friend.
Yes.
You know, so that was when the journey with the church started from. Because after discovering that, I went through, it was like a year or so. I didn't go to church for 1 year.
Right. Yes.
Because I'm like, am I a Christian? Do I actually want to be a Christian?
Do
you understand? So
I understand.
that already happened in the church. So when the marriage broke, that was their excuse. She left the church.
Yes.
You know. So I wasn't in the church at that time anymore. I go to church normal Sundays. You know, because there was. I tell people, when you're going through a rediscovery or discovery or whatever journey, there's a knowledge or a discovery that shocks you and just you want to cut everybody out and be like rebellious. But as time goes on, you begin to adapt to how to live with people. So I didn't have any problem with church or God at that time when the marriage broke because I had gotten to that level of, you know, I go. So even when pastor says things, you're like, this one, you didn't get this one, pastor. We know that kind of thing. My mom said we bought a Shwebi. We told people, we rented all. What will we tell them again? I said that I told them I wanted to get married.
Yes.
I'm not saying I'm not doing
it again.
That's what you say.
That's all you tell them. Like, that is it.
That's it.
You learn to deal with the present moment. Well, what will you tell them? I'm not going to deal with the shame and the baggage. This is what happened. I said I wanted to get married, and I'm not getting married. So you get back into your place of power.
And so when I was writing this book, that was what I had in mind.
That's what you had in mind.
I wanted to help people who were like me, trapped, who had to maintain a front, people who were, high up there and, they couldn't leave, or something was to understand there was somebody, or there is somebody like you. Because when I was to write this book, I Googled leaders in Nigeria that have failed marriages and risen again.
Nothing.
But when I Googled, I could see Yanla Van Zandt. I could see Oprah. So that helped me. So I said I will be the first in Nigeria that will be that. So that when people Google, Lara Kudayisi.
Thank you for saying that, because I think it's a tragedy when it comes to vulnerability and emotion. You have to go outside Nigeria to find hope and models. Thank you for doing this. I think this book, How the Matchmaker's Marriage Failed, Life Lessons on Purpose, Singlehood and Marriage, is a powerful book.
Thank you.
And people, especially women in a society conditioned for marriage, that they should read. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found.